Here's the Think Fun Circuit Maze. How cool is this? Electronic circuit logic game with 62 expert challenges. Ignite your mind. Really, really fun stuff, and it's typically well done with the Think Fun way of doing things, which always gives you cards with actual projects you can do, and they're always 60 projects. Let's move this out of the way for a second. So first of all, you get this, your basic little instruction book. Okay, shows you what all the parts mean. It shows you the board with the basic setup. This is where your a battery goes in this thing, and I'll show you where you're getting your basic power from. It teaches you what all these things mean. What the beacons are, meaning something that lights up like this. I mean, it's very fun, and it gives you very simple ways of doing things. Understand positive and negative. You know, this is all part of electricity. And here we go. Resistors, circuits, closed circuits, short circuits, series circuits, parallel circuits, short current bypass, and parallel circuits. Avoid this. Series and parallel circuits. Bypass and series and parallel. So, I mean, it goes ahead and it tells you, and these are all common circuits that are used in pretty much all electronics. You're going to find these kind of simple circuits, the flow. Here's that powered device here I was telling you about. You put the batteries in it, and this is where you get your energy from to set up the lights. And there's a lot of Think Fun products. You can go to thinkfun.com, and you'll see there many different games, and they're all very educational. Think Fun actually, all of their tools trigger deep areas of the brain to increase flow of blood and energy. And guess what? These are the same energies where you use for your higher psychic and bio-functioning. So all the higher functioning still work through a lot of the old wiring and so forth, but you have to make sure that that old wiring is flowing well. That's why you use these kind of things. Well, all of the Think Fun work from this kind of a board, no matter what you get. And they have lots of cool stuff. Just noticed here in two of the other ones, which I'll show you here that they offer, is they've got this real cool laser. Now, they've had these laser kind of games where you bounce the laser off of mirrors and connect it, but this is, again, a good way to get accustomed to lasers, how they're used, and so forth. A big part of occult engineering is lasers. A real fun game is the classic little gravity maze where you have balls that drop down here. Another real fun, and I've got all these and we'll be showing it to you in the near future. Now, as with all Think Fun products, you always get these 60 cards, okay? And these 60 cards start from 1, of course, which is a beginning circuit, okay? And, of course, they give you the beginning circuit. This is what you're supposed to put together. Here's the way to actually make it. And again, I'm not going to go into all the details here. It's too complicated, and that's all part of Patreon members, where I'll walk you through how to use these type devices. And basically, it has 60 of these cards. Here's another beginning card, and then they go on to more difficult challenges. Yeah, it's really great. I like cards. Instead of manuals, they're easier to handle. You can access them. You don't have a whole big book. So if you want to work on this beginner, which is card 13, you just do that. You pull the card out. Okay, you got to put this together. And, of course, you can always Well, this is the solution, actually. Here's the the way you set it up, and then you have the solution on the back. It's so nice. I mean, it's quick. And again, I'm not a believer in struggle. I put struggle in the same category as suffering. Suffering doesn't teach you anything. Stress, conflict, fighting for what you want in life, that teaches you a lot. Suffering just teaches you nothing. So it just embitters you to a point that you start thinking poorly. So you have those cards. And of course, as I was mentioning, here's your little battery pack. And these fit into here. All of their components fit into these little squares. And this is how all of their systems work. And it's quite cool. I mean, a real smart idea that someone came up with. And I don't think I'll take these out. Let me just show you them. As I said, that's all for advanced Patreon members as we get into more complicated things. It's an awful lot of work, people, to put all this together. So what you've got here is this very cool circuit box. And here's the things as you complete a circuit that will light up. Here's your kind of wiring, you could call it. These are connectors. So you're connecting your energy, which flows from the battery, into theirs to light this up. And here's other wiring type systems. And when you light it up, you have completed the circuit correctly. So, really cool idea, fun way to teach basic electronics to anybody, give you a concept, which, even if you're not into occult engineering, you ought to know basic electronics and what basic flow is. Radionic machines do have a basic flow to them. You have an in and out plate that goes through certain dials. There are usually resistors and capacitors within there, even if they're not electrified. And a lot of machines are electrified as well, giving some quasi-electrical system going there. So you've got this really cool set. We will have a link down below where you can buy this through our link from Amazon. And we recommend anybody who wants to learn basic electronics or you want your kid to learn it, this is a great tool and you should have this. Everybody should be using this. So if you're a person who works with radionics or any machines, you should have this and be using it so you understand the flow of energies. Now, occult energies and subtle energy physics, we go beyond this, but we use these as carrier waves, just as we use lasers as well. So, lasers, basic electronics, and of course, informational energetic field physics, known as energy physics, goes on and then fills in all the gaps there to bring us to the next level of science, which is badly needed. Because we are going nowhere. Our materialistic view of the world has put us into a corner and it's slamming our head in that corner harder and harder each time as we get nowhere. I just heard a scientist state today that of course they still believe in the kind of freakish and wrong theory of Darwin. And their answer to that was, we've learned nothing more than what Darwin stated over 100 years ago. That's science for you. Nothing's been learned in physics, nothing's been learned in biology, nothing's been learned in anything. And I doubt much has been learned in engineering either, because they're certainly not building good stuff. So the bottom line is they've learned nothing. And whose fault is that? And why is that? Why is nothing been learned past the base? And for that matter, we can go back 3,000 years to the Greeks, where we're still following their belief systems and understandings, because we're too stupid to go